Hello, I'm Dave Apsley. I'm a forester and a natural resources specialist with Ohio State University Extension. Today I'm going to introduce you to one of my least favorite tree species. It's called Tree of Heaven or Ailanthus. The reason Tree of Heaven or Ailanthus is one of my least favorite species is that it's not native to here in Ohio and is causing quite a problem on many of our woodland properties. It's also a host plant and favored by the spotted lanternfly. So how do we identify Tree of Heaven? Well, first of all, it's got very large leaves. These are compound, we call them pinnately compound leaves because they're kind of like a feather. They've got a central rachis or stem and the leaflets are on both sides. What's unique about Tree of Heaven, it can have from as few as 11 leaflets to as many as 41. And I've seen Tree of Heaven leaves that are 4 to 5 feet in length, especially on young sprouts like this. So again, pinnately compound, large leaflets. The teeth along the edges are fairly irregular, but what we're going to typically see is a couple of rounded teeth right near the base of the leaf. And these rounded teeth will typically have glands or little bumps on them. Great ID characteristic. They'll also have an offensive odor. I just broke this leaf off of this tree and almost wants to choke me up. It's got a really offensive odor. Some folks say it smells like rotten peanut butter. I don't know how to describe it, but it is an offensive odor. Again, very large compound leaves, up to 41 leaflets. Other characteristics are it typically has a very stout stem. This from here to the tip is new growth from this year. So it's a very aggressive tree. It can grow very fast, especially when it's a sprout like this. I've seen sprouts grow 6 to 8, even sometimes almost 10 feet in height in a given year. So they're very stout twigs, very common sense if you think about it. To support a leaf that's 4 feet long, it's going to need a very stout twig. These twigs, if you cut into them or break into them, they're going to have a peanut butter colored center or pith. So that's another great ID characteristic. And then also it'll produce flowers. Flowers are pretty nondescript. They're kind of yellowish, but it varies on the trees because these are dioecious. You'll have separate male and female trees. The female flowers will mature and produce a winged fruit. The fruits are going to be in clusters up in the tree. This time of year they may even have a little reddish color to them. As they mature they may be yellowish to pink. Actually fairly attractive, but again only on the female trees. The other unique thing about the fruits, they're in clusters and they hang down very similar from a distance to what look like ash fruits, but these fruits are unique in that they're winged and twisted, but they attach on one end and you're going to have wings on both sides. So you're going to have a fruit that's about this long. The two winged fruits or seeds are going to be in the middle, and then they're going to be twisted, but they'll hang from the end. And we'll show you a close-up shot of that very soon here. And then finally, they are very clonal. They tend to sprout. If you try to kill a Tree of Heaven without using an herbicide, by cutting it down, it'll sprout very prolifically and be a very aggressive sprouter and hard to control. In a woodland setting, we want to typically kill the tree slowly using an herbicide to prevent that resprouting. And then finally, the bark. The bark is unique. Some folks say it looks like a snake skin. Others say it looks more like a cantaloupe skin. But it's typically smooth and gray in appearance. And then you're going to see this pattern in it that I think looks a lot like a snake skin. Again, Tree of Heaven or Ailanthus. It's a non-native aggressive plant that is becoming a problem in our woodlands because it competes with our native trees. It's also preferred species by the spotted lanternfly. So this is one to keep an eye out for, and when you have the opportunity, try to control it and keep it in check. Thanks, have a great day, and please take at least part of it to spend it in the woods.